I don't see the recording button anymore. Okay, there we go. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out to join us tonight at the King's Table. It seemed like it's already another month. The time flew by, so we're back tonight with the Kings and the Queens. So this is the 256th session of the King's Table. We've been going strong for quite some time now. This is a safe and sacred space where the kings and the men come together to talk, to share openly, and become comfortable doing just that. It's a place to gain insight and receive answers and find guidance on the next steps concerning life. Tonight is very special as we welcome the queens to join the conversation tonight. At the end of every month, the last Friday of every month, they join us because what could we do without the women? They are one of the essential elements, or we none of us would be here. So we practice here at this space. We practice anonymity.
No, I know, I
Simply,
know. Uh,
so we practice anonymity here. Simply put, that means bearing no names. I can say I was here, but I cannot say you were here. As we continue to grow, because we are expanding, our sessions are live and some remain private where they won't be live. But either way, we still move with respect and discretion. Speak your truth, but do so with wisdom. Share your experience, but protect what is sacred. That is wise in any situation. And so we now welcome the presence of God, our source, our creator, into this space that we may all share, receive, and gain understanding through the divine exchange tonight. We can no more do without spirituality than we can do without food, shelter, or clothing. And here at the King's Table, we ask that you keep it on yourself, self-centered on you, so that each of us can truly examine our own lives. This is a space for those desiring growth, who are committed to becoming the best version of themselves. We ask that you be honest and open-minded in your sharing this space. Please be mindful to limit your sharing to 2 minutes, or I'll go like this, just to let you know we want to move forward. Uh, want everyone to get to share. And so, with that, we're not here to judge anyone, only here to listen with an open mind and to support one another by sharing our experience, our strength, and our hope. And we do ask that you make a contribution to keep the community going. And we thank everyone that has done so, because that keeps the Zoom going. It keeps all the stuff we do to bring it forth and to create the different media and so on and so forth. And hopefully we'll get to travel again as a group, whoever can meet, as we went out and we did horseback riding before the kings and queens came. So we look forward to doing something else when we can get some of you guys gathered here in New York. And if you like, if you feel led to, please join me in the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So, again, welcome, 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 welcome. This is a sacred space where truth can be spoken, where growth is embraced, and where kings and queens come together at the end of the month and we come together in wisdom, respect, and in divine alignment. Now, as we continue to grow and expand, some of our sessions, again, like I said, are live. So let's be aware of that. And some remain private. But either way, we honor the code of this table. Speak your truth and do so with wisdom, and share your experience, but protect what is sacred. And for those who join us on the private gatherings, you already know what is shared here stays here. It has always been that way. Tonight is about reflection, awareness, and elevation. With everything happening around us globally and socially, um, spiritually, we take this time to check in with ourselves and with one another, not from a place of fear, but a place of power, not from confusion, but of clarity. So let us welcome again the President of the Most High here. Let's speak freely, listen deeply, and receive what belongs to you, and let's build. And here we go. I'm going to put the first topic on the table tonight. Feel free if you want to comment to raise your hand or use your emoji so that we can open your microphone so that we can all uh, hear what you have to say as we go into the different topics. So, how are you faring in the current climate we're living in? Are you concerned or worried about what's happening, or are you grounded and secure? And what, if anything, are you doing to make a difference during this time? With all of the stuff that y'all's president, the president is doing, and different things that are going on around you in your city as well as others. What are you doing to make a difference? And where are you? Are you steady? Are you worried? Or are you secure that God's got you? Let's talk about this subject matter. If you have any questions or what have you, feel free to put them out here also.
Mm-hmm.
No one's talking tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Quiet on the set. Come on. Just I'm gonna do this because they not
Listen. As far as the climate concerned with your president,
mine. Okay.
I don't care who's in the White House. I know who sits on the throne. I'm not concerned with all of that chaos that's going on because I know the Most High brings order out of chaos. So everything's happening for a reason, and it's always for our good. That's how I believe it. No matter how it turns around, it's going to turn around for our good. So no need for me to worry. Worry for what? We're going to pray, don't worry. We're going to worry, don't pray.
That's it right there, for real. Appreciate that. I concur with Jovel because what that's a lot of wasted energy, but worrying about what they're doing in the White House and around the world, and then or to sit and look at the news all day every day. That's me talking now. For me, I'm not doing that because that just pulls at all kind of strings, your heartstrings, and make you worry. Should I go here? No, I ain't got time for that because I know that I'm protected where I go, wherever I go, in my goings and my comings, and it is well. So I don't walk in fear. Even when they was practicing the scamdemic, I mean, I worked every day and I was out in the streets, and it was amazing. It was really quiet and clean in New York for that year. It was beautiful because there was no traffic and I could do whatever out there. Um, Very interesting though. But again, it for me, and I was considered a rebel. I didn't wear any diapers. I mean, mask or whatever you want to call it. I got jokes, but yeah, I didn't put nothing over my face because God gave us this mouth so that we could speak and so that we could breathe and we could release and inhale and exhale. And when you think about the science of mind or how they know the system knows what they're doing to control, cover your mouth so we can't hear you. You can't even speak. And everything comes when what happened in the beginning. You know, the creator moved and spoke and said, let there be. But you couldn't even let and you like, what? What you say? And then you pull it up. Then you just got caught. I mean, I'm just saying, so it's all funny to me. Again, because I know who I'm aligned with. Like we just heard Joel say, I know that the source is with me no matter what. And in all the chaotic moments or what seems to be the valley or the dark moment, when it all comes to when the sun comes up the next day, it's like, wow, that was what I went through all that for, or what have you. So I've seen it in my own life without going into a testimony right now, but it is well. So that's my take on faring in the current climate. In my place, it is peace and serenity. That's what I've created. So it feels good to feel good. Anybody else want to jump in on this? How are you faring? And if you're not faring well, maybe we could offer you something that could help you out. Anybody?
I have a comment. I think it's definitely a relevant topic, and I think one that is one that, and forgive me that I tried to walk away from her, but I figured she'd probably bark. But um, I think it's definitely a relevant topic, and it's so much to say, and I'm just trying to figure out how to sum it up and not have to say so much. But in terms of how I'm faring very well. But I think it's so important to understand the times in which we're living. I don't think it's fear. I don't think it's, fear mongering to be aware of the times, but I certainly think that we are in the time of the book, and the time is, I think, to be prepared for what's coming. And God didn't expect us not to be. Last time we were talking about the oil, the 10 virgins that, some were ready and some weren't. And it wasn't like they didn't know that they were going to a marriage. So the marriage feast it was already told, you're going to a wedding. So they were supposed to be prepared. This is what's coming. So it's your responsibility to be ready. Some of them weren't. They figured they had time, and even it said it'd be in the days of Noah, they were marrying and giving in marriage. In other words, they weren't basically living a life of sin. They were living a life of normalcy. They were going on about their business, eating, drinking, and giving in marriage. But they just didn't believe Noah when he said, this is where we are, and this is what's getting ready to happen. So be prepared. But they took it lightly, and all of them got left. And so I think, when God gives us signs that he has through his word, as to be, he said, be uh, vigilant, be sober. He told us to be, pay attention. So I think, there are signs all around us that are telling us, what to do. I had a personal experience. I don't want to keep going because I don't want to make it too long, but just kind of to sum it up, try to do it quick. I read Revelation many times. I read the scripture about 4 horses many times. But this particular time I was reading it, something said, this is where we are and this is where we're going. And I know it wasn't me. And then there was confirmation after it. I'm trying to talk fast. I don't take up too much time. But it was, it was saying we're at the place of the horse that is I believe the red one, where, there was peace taken from the earth and people were caused to make to kill one another, murder one another. So it was like, and that it's never been so much shooting and killing that I've seen in my days, where, so much people killing each other. So, and conquering the one who went to conquer, that was the first one. I think that's already happened. They basically conquered the world. They've been doing that since, long, long, long time. But this spirit of murderous and, lack of peace and all of that stuff, and it kind of coincides with all the other stuff I talked about last day. But anyway, so I heard this is where we are. Where we're going is the next one was the time of famine. And I'm going to just stop there. But that time of famine is where I heard this was, few years ago, and I heard start storing up canned food that you can open and things like that. So that I'm gonna stop there. But I took it, that's just my personal experience about where we are, where we're going. It's not, peace, be ready. That's all. Stay with the one who knows. That's it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry it took so long.
No worries. And so,
Again,
guys,
yeah,
we're talking about where we are right now in the climate we're living in. How are you? Where are you at with that? Are you worried about what's happening, or are you secure and grounded and secure? Or are you doing anything to make a difference? Anybody want to speak on this? If not, we will shift to another topic. Okay. Okay, Tony, come on.
Good evening, all. I'm not worried. I truly believe that God doesn't let anything happen by accident. And I'm just grounded and know that I believe that all is going to be well. So I'm truly not worried. Fear and faith are polar opposites. They can't be in the same space, right? So I have to pick one, and I'm just going to be faithful. That's it.
All right, thank you for that. Jovel, did you raise your hand?
Yeah. The just shall live by faith. That's what I got from what Tony just said. And I just want to piggyback on a little, sometimes your faith may make you look crazy because it will push you to do things that other people think you should not be doing. And I say that to say that, I believe that music was a vehicle for me to use to be, to soothe, to not only soothe, but to encourage. So during the pandemic, I put a speaker outside and start playing music, overlaid with inspirational stuff like Les Brown and just clips of speeches. Never did I think that it would turn into what it is now, but if it's God ordained, it's God sustained. It's been going for 6 years now. But my thing is to stay true to how it started. Keep putting those messages out there.
Yeah, it is. It has gone viral. Everybody knows about St. James Place, and it is major there and all promo. So it's an event on the 25th of April. Am I correct, Joville? So if you want some information, hit me up. I'll tell you where it is. It's a great session. It will be crowded, so you need to get that information right away so you could pull up to St. James and hear Joville and others that may be there to spend and have a good time. Some good house music and good fellowship on the block in Brooklyn. It keeps you in a good vibe, and again, it brought us together as community. That's why we're here, for community, because that has been taken away and is still being stripped at consistently with people on social media or just having cell phones. You could be in a room with everybody and everybody's on their phone. No one's talking to anyone. I had a gathering here, and normally the parties are always off the chain, just like the St. James thing. And one day, it was early, and there were like 5 people in the front room, and I came out of the other room and looked, and everybody was on their phone, and I was like, "What is going on? We here to hang out and have a good time, you know?" And then they all caught themselves. They weren't even really paying attention. It was just, it had become first nature, and they were not conscious that they were all into their phones. And then they made I made them aware of that, and they was like, "Oh wow," and they put them away, and we began to hang out together, fellowship, or whatever you want to call it. But that's so important, and that's why the King's Table is here to, let's say, rebuild community. And so we're here to support, to give our experience, our strength, and our hope. We don't have to agree with either one or anyone, but to shine the light and be all that we can be and to better ourselves. Because when you work on self, everything else is going to change around you anyway. So we're going to shift into the second topic that I had listed here. Have you made any significant changes? I think everyone should be able to say something. Have you made any significant changes in your life since last year? Changes that are moving you towards your betterment or closer to living your dream? Yay or nay? And if so, let us hear about that and what you're doing, because it may motivate someone else to make changes to move forward. Anyone did anything with making any significant changes in their life? Who wants to talk first? Because I see everybody's ready in my mind. Okay, so this is how we'll do it. I've been at situations where they toss the ball. So I'm about to throw the ball. And when I throw the ball, I'm going to throw it right over right now at Gracia, because he just came on screen.
Hey. Crohn's disease symptoms despite treatment, then you know they can be. So, one thing that I will say that I have been really active and bettering in myself is boundary, understanding what those are, because you grow up like I did when there was none. People just walk up on you, and you kind of don't have things were being dictated to you, or even in your own personal space, people don't knock. People just volunteer you for things, and you deal with certain people-pleasing tendencies. And it took me at the ripe old age of, well, I won't say ripe old, but 40, to be able to understand that, I don't like this. I don't like feeling that, I don't like not having a sense of autonomy. And that deals with pretty much everyone I've dealt with, mainly, my mom, biggest culprit, but it's like not having a say in your own life at this point really started to bother me and rub me the wrong way. And now it's like I've gone from one extreme to, being like, yes, yes, now it's no, and don't bother me. And it's like, now I'm rubbing people the wrong way because I'm trying to do my best to find that balance for me. So that is the biggest thing that I have been working on, because when you're not used to saying no, it feels like the world's going to come to an end. You want to be helpful, and you want to be that person people can rely on, but then you come to the realization that you're kind of neglecting yourself as well. You're kind of abandoning yourself. You're kind of putting people ahead of your needs, and then the term selfish kind of gets thrown around. So you're thinking selfish is a bad thing, when you realize that, if you're not selfish to some degree, you kind of lose yourself. So that's been the one thing that I have been really, really working on, to kind of just diffuse those meanings, that I guess can be used to the benefit of others conveniently, because, they're so used to you being a particular way. And when you finally, you're like, I'm done being this person, I don't like it, and you want to push back, it just takes everybody by surprise. So, but then I just have to be okay with that. And that's the biggest thing that I've been learning to adjust and to accept, and to, understand that, when you set a boundary, those people who respect those boundaries, that's the ultimate, I would say, barometer as to who is meant to stay, who deserves your energy, your access, and who doesn't. People who love you, who care about you, will, yes, it may rub them the wrong way in the beginning, but they will adjust. And for those who don't, who can't, then that's fine. Bye bye. I love you. I love you from a distance, and I'm learning that it's not easy. It hasn't been, but I'm learning to adjust with that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Come on, Jovel.
Yeah, from being a people pleaser myself, I learned that, no is a complete sentence, and that you're not responsible for regulating other people's emotions. Other people are gonna rear their ugly head. They're gonna get uptight when you decide that you no longer want to be their what they call it, their mat that they walk over. So it's difficult because you, in the process of not being yourself, lost yourself. So that's why you get emotionally frazzled when you say no and you get a reaction. But I had to learn that no is a complete sentence, and you don't have to explain anything after that. No is no.
And so it is. Anybody? Okay.
I think I struggle with that a bit as well, being able to, and I had to ask myself, well, why is it difficult to say no? I think that's a good kind of starting point. If it's hard to say no, ask yourself why, and then kind of search that out. But what I'm learning is that nobody's going to care about me more than I care about myself. And that autonomy, I think, is important to embrace, because truth be told, if you really care about others, you got to care about yourself first. Because if you have nothing to pour into others because you have poured nothing into yourself, then what good are you? What good is your love that you say you have for your brother when you can't give him anything because you have nothing to give? So pouring into your own cup first is important, and it's not selfish. And that's something I think, that I had to come to terms with. It's not selfish to take time for you, to pour into you, to serve yourself and be good to you, and to glean, and just say no sometimes to people that are taking from your cup instead of adding to it, so that you can take time to fill your cup so that you have something for into others. So it's not selfish. And that's a important thing. That's autonomy. taking control of yourself. And one more thing in terms of what someone, the brother just said, in terms of people bringing that toxic into your life. One thing I heard someone say that I thought it helped me a lot. Instead of someone that you are associated with, you find that even though you think you're, for whatever reason you're staying, if you find that you are becoming someone you don't like, it's time to go. It's time to leave that situation. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to share. And sometimes people will project their issues on you, and it's not your issue. And you gotta realize that's not my issue. It's yours. And God bless you. Let me pray for you, but I need to go. That's it.
Thank you. Yeah. Next time when you speak, try to pull your mic a little closer because there's a little it's a little messy. I can't hear you that well, but next time come a little closer.
Did you say you couldn't hear me, Rod?
When you speak again,
because I can barely hear you. I'm sorry.
You got to pull your mic closer or your earpiece. We're having trouble hearing you. But we did hear what you said. Make it closer. Okay, thank you. Come on, Jovel, and then we're gonna move.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that selfish is a term used by people who are trying to manipulate you to revert back to the way you were so that they can have their way. You have to be able to stand on your ground once you make up your mind that you're no longer going to be manipulated. That's all.
It's true. Okay. Anybody else want to share on this topic of, have you made any significant changes in your life since last year? Changes that are moving you toward betterment or closer to living your dreams? I'm trying to avoid the noise in the background because they're having a party on the block blowing horns.
Oh, well, good evening all. And I would just like to add is I had discovered a while ago, and I mentioned it, when we look at the use of words, oftentimes they are misused. It's sort of like the word selfish. Actually, when you really look at the word, as we all know, there's nothing wrong with fishing for self. But of course, because it has been misunderstood that people like to point the finger, as has been said, when you are asked to do something and you said no, which means that you know that you have to look out for yourself. People will say, oh, you're being selfish. No, I'm fishing for myself.
And that is a good thing, because if you're hungry, you should fish for yourself. So I appreciate that. And I'll just say something really quick. As far as significant changes in my life, I'm always making some changes, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And for me, the only way to become better, there are changes. So, oh goodness, do I have one in particular? Let me think for a moment. I'm always working on self-discipline. So that could involve making sure I be mindful of what I'm eating, making sure I take in more water. So I'm always making those changes. And I will share this as I'm closing out the cleanse or fast I was just doing. This is the 6th day, no food, just a gallon of water, and the other things I added to it. The master cleanse. Let me add to this. So that the lemons and the maple syrup and the cayenne pepper. And then I did the sea salt bath, 32 ounces of lukewarm water with 2 teaspoons of sea salt 3 times through this course. So, and I've been very clear. So that was good, just to challenge myself, but also commit to doing it again. I hadn't done it for a while with some of the different things that I've been faced with and dealing with, but it was really a great fast, and it's been pretty just easy for the most part. And anyone I talk to keep talking about food, and so I just go, yeah. And they were giving me more food and more recipes this every time I call somebody. So I just worked to just kind of go, yeah, all good, great. And somebody was eating this morning when I was out. We had a meeting, and he was just tearing that sandwich up. He's like, "Oh, is this bothering you?" I was like, "Oh, not at all. Let's just keep doing what we're doing." But again, that makes I feel good because I'm just making the choice to make the changes, and it works for me. And so changes are always happening. I'm always working to take a self inventory so that when I'm communicating with you, having a conversation, my tone is right. So I'm always like, let me make sure that I'm not flipping. And it's like, calm down, breathe. And I do that when I'm driving. And doesn't happen like um, overnight. So there are significant changes taking place right here and now. And one of them is just knowing how to always work to stay in the state that I desire, meaning living from the wish fulfilled. So significant changes would be that I am even more aware and more conscious. So everything is intentional so that I stay in that desired space, and it's no longer a desire because I'm living from it.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. So yeah, so from last year to this year, I see even more, and it's wonderful to see. Clarity is everything. So for me, I'm always working and making changes to live my dream, and I am living my dream and looking to add more to that. So that's for me. Anybody else on this topic? If not, we will shift. I'm going to throw the ball at one more person on this topic. We're going to throw it to Robin because I could see she wanted to say something. Come on, Robin.
I was trying to be quiet because I just came from another Zoom, but it's all right.
Okay.
It's okay. I like what you a couple of people were saying about no. That's something, years back I was dealing with the people pleasing aspect of it. And I remember when I was working, I had a sign in my office that said, what part of no don't you understand? So if somebody came in and I had already told them no, I would just point to the sign, read the sign over there. I have to find that sign and put it back up though. But I think what you were saying, Rob, just about being intentional about what things I need to do for myself, just being more in line with what I need to do to be the most healthiest version of myself as possible. And also another thing is for me, getting to know people, reaching out to getting to know people, staying in contact with people that are like-minded, is something that I've really been more intentional about as well. Because I think, even with us being on this platform, it's a community, of, just showing concern and love for each other. And I think that's something that I've learned to do more of, because I was, growing up, I was just like independent, I don't need nobody, I don't need to be friends with nobody, I don't need, because you can't trust folks, so, but, of late, I've learned that, getting to know people and just, people that I know that are like-minded, that want to be in line with God, people that are working to be a better version of themselves and don't mind, staying connected, with each other. So that's all I got on that.
All right, cool. Let me go and mess with Carnell, and then we'll shift to another topic. Come on, Carnell.
Okay, I just like to say about when we're talking about being selfish, but the road I've traveled, it took me a long time to learn to say no and mean it, because when you're always trying to run with the group or run with the gang or do what the boys do, you could be easily influenced, which I was. And I'm just thankful that I'm still here in one piece. And my prayer life is far better than it was a year ago. It's increasing. And my belief and love of God and Jesus is increased. Still when it comes to being selfish, when I say no, I ain't got to tell you but one time, because if you know me, you ain't going to be able to switch me. If I find out something different, I might switch. But if I tell you no, for instance, I live alone, and there's some guys or family members that needs a place to sleep for a while. I say, it all depends on who it is. And if I tell them no, I don't need to come knock on the door because I already told you no. I'll help someone, but I'm not going to let you decide on telling me what to do and what not to do, because I live that life. and I depend on my creator now and what I feel that he's telling me to do. Even with a simple answer, yes or no, when I say no, ball game, throw in the towel, it's over.
I get it. Thank you for sharing that. I want to make one comment someone said about Gracia was saying the family volunteers, Rob will pick you up and Rob can and then you like, and I used to do it. And then you got somebody in the car that you didn't want in the car. And it's like, just because it's family. So now they have changed to saying you need to call him and see if you can, if he
right,
call him, because I'm not going to be the third party. I am not so we got all that straight. Because I'm very clear. And people still say, oh, you said it like that. Listen, you can put a S on it and suffer from it, or you can put an H on it and handle it. I know it sounds cut and dry, but selfish is a beautiful word, because when you learn how to be selfish and learn how to take care of yourself, you can take care of others in the same instance. But if you don't understand that, again, they just change words. Like we heard Sam said, watch the words, because they'll flip it on you so that you will use it and think it's negative. Oh, you just selfish person. No, you just mad because you can't get, I'm not giving you none of my drink. Now get out of my face. Anyway, so let's transition into number 3. When it comes to self-care, do you practice fasting? Wonder why he thought of that. If so, when was the last time you fasted, and share why you choose to fast or do not. So let me expand the fasting. The fasting doesn't mean that it have to be food, because maybe some of you never did food, but what have you fasted, if anything? Let's talk about self-care and fasting. And looks like Tony's trying to unmute herself. I don't know. I'm going to mess with Tony. So Tony's going to talk on that one.
Yeah. So for the Lenten season, well, I fast a lot, right? But for the Lenten season, I've been fasting so far for 33 days. Okay. And for me, it's about gaining clarity. So I fast from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I picked the word for the year, and the word was exposure. And within this fasting, I am starting to see a lot. I'm starting to gain a lot of clarity. And I think Mr. Cornell said it, like my nose on my nose now, and I'm comfortable with it. Like I do a lot. I'm on a lot of platforms. I'm always asked to do a lot of things. And usually I'll try. But in this season, if I can't, it's a no, it's a hard no, and I'm okay with it. But I'm gaining a lot of clarity with the fasting, and I'm spending more time with God. Even at times where I'm starting to get a little fidgety and I'm getting a little hungry, I'll just delve into the Bible and the final word, right? But yeah, fasting really brings some clarity, and it's really sitting with God and learning, just spending that alone time with him and leaning into his hearing, leaning into your hearing with him.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it, Tony. So I'm going to mess with you, James. You want to say something about this? Do you ever practice self-care with fasting or not?
Not with food, no. I have not fasted with food before. Okay. But I'm assuming fasting can mean abstaining. So I am recently trying to abstain from social media. Okay. And just getting away from that. So yeah.
And that's powerful, because some people cannot resist logging on to Facebook or Instagram or any of the others. So what you just said is very important, and it is abstaining, which is self-discipline, and not everyone is disciplined at all. So very important. Thank you for sharing. Yep. Come on, Jovel. I see your hand up.
You already said what I was getting ready to say.
No.
But fasting for me is killing the war between the flesh and the spirit.
Okay.
When I fast, it's easier to command my flesh in terms of saying no to things that I would fall privy to easily. Like, for instance, I realize that sometimes when things don't go my way or I get a little upset, I go seeking for comfort food. And something recently happened, and right away, I wanted to get a slice of pizza. When I wanted to get a slice of pizza, I realized, oh, things didn't go your way. Now you want some comfort food. Not today, Charlie. I named my negative thoughts
Right,
Charlie.
right.
Charlie, not today. So that's another thing. You know, I've been on a Mediterranean diet. I've gotten to the point where I roll out my mat the night before so that when I get up, I know, you know, it's there and it's the signal that's in my path of what I do on a norm. So when I pass that path, I do my 10, 20 minutes of yoga and my prayer and my meditation and it's been a change, but I still have some challenges because I suffered a heart attack and I got a little PTSD from that, you know, in 24. So I'm still the enemy's still trying to get to my mind through that. Right. You know, and I realized that just now. That's what it is.
Right.
Thank you for sharing that. I'll say something when you were speaking. So it made me again think about a couple things. Power of words. This is food for thought for anyone who's want to hear this. Whatever we say, it's the little things. Whatever you say, you will live that. Oh, John, I'm so tired. Okay, that's why you stay tired, because you are affirming it and you announce to the universe at large, I am. That name is the name of the Most High. This the divine, the creator. And when you announce I am, no matter what level of the consciousness it is in, it is given to you freely and effortlessly. I am sick of these people and they are sick of you. So now you have to live what it is to be sick of those people. And when you do what that guy named Master Rob says, change your mind and your ass will follow you. If you shift it, it'll shift for your betterment and not your detriment. Oh, this old bad leg. Stop talking about yourself negatively. Even Bruce Lee is well known for telling you, don't say anything negative about yourself, because your body doesn't know what's a joke or what's not. So it's gonna manifest what you're saying. So let us be mindful of that as we move forward, what we're saying about ourselves or about others, because if you throw something out to someone else, life is a boomerang and it comes right back to you. So then you keep saying nothing ever works out for me. Well, it's not going to, because you keep saying that and because of how you're living. And not everyone wants to be responsible. Somebody was talking about that earlier about taking responsibility or accountability. And so it always comes back because it is always about you and looking at yourself. Start with the man in the mirror. So I just wanted to put that out there, as far as to give you food for thought, to be aware of your situations, because you have the wherewithal to change everything in your life. And if you can change your mind and change your conversations, which you can, then life will change, the experiences will change. So we were talking about self-care. Anyone else want to say something about their self-care with fasting or not? If not, we will shift to another topic.
I just can say real quick, I like when you talked about I am. And I heard somebody say something I thought was really relevant to that. And they said when you say I am, you've already identified yourself.
Yes,
Do
period.
you know what
Whatever
I
you
mean?
put behind it that's it. So whatever you add to it,
Yeah.
it is yours. So I didn't
Yeah,
say
and the I am is what God said he is.
right.
I am. And then
That's it.
so that's who we are, period. And so we already have our first name, our names, so we're named already, basically. So I thought it was pretty good in terms of self-care, just like real quick.
Yeah, whatever you
Self-care in
say.
terms of fasting.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, whatever you say after I am seeks to find you.
That's it. And it'll find quick, fast. It don't take too long to get there. So
And it should always be what the word says. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna
don't be
share in
sorry.
terms of
You don't have to
self-care.
be sorry. I am
You're right.
sorry.
I apologize.
Stop being sorry.
I'm not
And then,
sorry
as a
about.
community, we need to make that a note so that we be like, oh,
You're
let me
right.
stop saying I'm sorry, or I didn't mean it. It's like,
You're
listen,
right.
breathe. We all sharing, and we get inspired by what they just said, and it's wonderful. But be mindful of attaching the I am to I am sorry, because now we're gonna be living a life of sorry. I wish I had.
Very true. Thank you so much.
So
I appreciate
it is
that.
all love. It's all for, how Michael said, it's all for love. It's all for love. And
It,
so,
practice, practice, practice.
practice
It's got to
over
be
and
a
over.
practice. Yes.
And the better it
Yes.
gets, the better it gets. So
Yes.
let's make another shift here. When you reflect on all that our people, the melanated beautiful beings, have done, have created culturally, spiritually, intellectually, and economically, what do you see unfolding for us moving forward, since we've created so many things, everything? Do you believe greater unity is possible, or do you feel that we are becoming more divided as a people? And then where do you stand in this situation? So I got three things that you can talk about here. With our people, all that they've done spiritually, intellectually, and economically, and the way things are moving, do you see us moving forward, or do you believe that it's even possible for us to unite? Or do you feel we're becoming more divided? Who wants to talk about that? Come on, Bernice.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, good. Thank you for that question. It was really I was thinking about it this morning because my granddaughter said something to me and she said, I don't know why we keep doing the same thing. And I said to myself, I don't know why either. Why don't we talk about it? It's really, and so she says, should we talk about it? I said, yes. Why just spit it out in the air and nobody says anything about it? So we're going to talk about it this weekend. But I have three granddaughters and three grandsons, and then three, people who belong to us but don't belong to us as a family. People that they married, and we're all we're all becoming all getting used to each other and understanding each other a lot more, and some of them are not the same color we are, but they're getting in tune to what it means to be a family. And I think the only way that I'm seeing that it's working is that people are saying what they're thinking and what they're feeling, as opposed to going into the room and screaming or talking to each other in the kitchen and not in the bedroom or not in the living room when we're all sitting around talking. So
Right.
I think it's working a little bit better than what it did last year.
Awesome.
And so I'm hopeful that it will continue to do that. My son-in-law brought my granddaughter over and left her with me for the whole afternoon, and then came back because he knew that I wanted to do that. I wanted to babysit. I wanted to see her. And he's of a different color, and he just sat around and talked with us, and then later on took the baby home. So it was like nobody. I didn't ask him to come. He just popped up. I mean, I live alone, and everybody wants to know what I'm doing because I'm living alone. So that was really. He says, "I'm coming over." I said, "Well, what are you doing?" He says, "I'm bringing the baby, and we're gonna have dinner." I said, "Okay, fine." So it's being open to things that I wasn't open to before, because I was going out to work, I was coming home, I was doing my mother thing or my whatever, and now I'm all alone and people are doing stuff for me, so it's great.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else want to talk about this? We're talking about our people have created everything. And what do you see unfolding for us moving forward? Do you believe greater unity is truly possible? Or do you feel we're becoming more divided as a people? And where do you stand in the matter?
But
I wanted,
sorry.
I wanted to add, well, there's one thing I believe that would be vital to that unity. And it has really become more prevalent and less taboo in these past few years, and that's mental health. I believe that if our people were to really take their mental health seriously and get over whatever traumas or victim mindsets or lack mindsets that have plagued us for years, then that would allow us to put our walls down and be more open towards each other, to engage each other in ways that have long since been lost. Because, like I said, there's you know, the more of a victim you are, the more you think about self and taking and taking and taking, as opposed to serving other people, or being more loving and caring. So I believe that that is something, I mean, that we as a people need to take more seriously, that whether it be, you know, your mental health, becoming more aligned with the creator. I think those two go hand in hand. And as long as we're able to do that, I believe that that is possible. But if everybody's still thinking they're fine and I'm good and, you know, I'm not crazy or this or that, or I don't need any help, or you know, their pride is through the roof, then we're probably never going to get to that.
Yeah, thank you.
And sometimes you have to reach out and help somebody or give them a hand, and sometimes they don't take it. I agree with that part, but my feeling is that extending a hand to help someone in that situation is better than leaving them alone.
Thank you. Okay, Professor, you were gonna say something also.
Yes, I wanted to dare say to the young lady there who is abundantly rich with grandchildren, you are never alone. We are never alone. We who have climbed the mountain of being of a certain age know that our wonderful, warm memories of relatives and friends, our ancestors, even though they have gone on ahead, we still cherish them. A smile comes to our face whenever we remember them in conversation. There you go. So I can say to you, young lady, you are never alone. You are never alone. I just wanted to add that point.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
for doing that. It crossed my mind, and you did that. I appreciate that. And one note on that before I pick someone else. I watched a movie last time. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It was this little girl, and she ended up being sick and going to the hospital. And she was having these little dreams, and she would draw, and she would always talk about her grandfather that was standing in the room, and they kept trying to tell her to stop. Little Shirley, it's not coming to me yet, but she used to say, well, granddad's over there, and she would always wave and talk to granddad. So they were having conversations. So when you say we're not alone, our ancestors are ever present. And for everyone that's religious or even Bible or whatever, it says the cloud of witness is ever present. They're not there to slap on you or do something strange, but they are ever present, because thank God for mother and thank God for father. My father's made a transition, but the ancestors will visit. They are ever present. And some of them are pushing us on to carry the light, whether we take heed to that or not. But we are not alone. Even the song that Michael sang, "You Are Not Alone." And I don't know exactly why he did, but I'm sure he had some awareness. So we are never alone in that instance. So be encouraged in that instance. And yeah, we do. Let me speak for myself. It is good to have company, another body or being around sometimes. That is always wonderful. And I do know how to enjoy my space with just myself, me, myself, and I. And that's a lot. I'm gonna mute this one right here, because sometimes my face shows reactions. I try not to do that, so it just shows everything. Like, what are you doing? So, I'm getting better in every day and every way. I'm getting better, better, and better. So let's segue into when it comes to friendships. When it comes to friendships, do you find yourself leaning toward friendships with men, women, or are you equally aligned with both? Did y'all get that one? Okay, Al and Robin, raise their hands.
Yeah, I like to say something, Rob. A lot of people don't know how to be a friend. I had to learn that, and I'm 76, so I learned that about maybe 40 years ago. And I don't fault them for that because I don't know what their traumas are, but I know what mine's were. But since I came in the realm of believing in God, I don't judge as much. I ain't gonna say I don't judge, but I guess I do, but I try not to, you know, because I got to judge certain people I know I can't be around. That's negative. Because all that do is set me off. So I learned my triggers, and I think that's important. What's important to me is that talking to strangers, saying something kind to a stranger, because that's important. A lot of people are not aware of that. Just a smile might be enough to save their life for that day. Because I know a man said something to me, I was 16. I was on my way to commit suicide, and I was dope sick, and I was just tired, man, you know. And a guy said to me, he said, "What's the matter, little brother?" I guess he could see my eyes were swollen up with tears. And he said, "You're important to me." And I didn't figure that out until recently. What he meant was I was important to him and God. You know, but I didn't understand. You can't understand anything about God if you're angry, frustrated, battered. You can't reach God. See, I wrestle in the dark. I always try to reach for the light. But the point was that God finally gave me his grace and mercy. See, I got chains that none of y'all can see. Stuff I can't share with y'all, only with God. And he has gave me mercy.
You don't have to.
And grace, and he has forgiven me, and I'm learning how to forgive myself. I've been blessed. And Master Rob, you are an amazing young man, even though you don't look as good as me, but you'll be all right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for sharing. I got something for you. I'm going to share it in a moment because when you said that, it just like it went out. So we're talking about friendships. Do you find yourself leaning toward friendship with men, women, or are you equally aligned with both? Quick note about friendship. When you were talking about people don't know how to be friends. So now I look at what is my definition of a friend. Let me put it on myself, keeping it on me. I'm very clear what I consider a friend, and so I don't have a lot of them for sure. There are many associates and people that know of me or know my face, but they don't know me. And there are only a few people that that I could even list in the thing of friend. And I think even in the good book, it's real specific when it starts talking about friendship and who is a friend of God or this or that. So I think that's very important for you to know your definition of friendship. Because a lot of people may never meet that. Oh, got it. In judgment, you have to be a judge of character. You have to use discernment, which is a form of judgment in a sense, but not passing judgment on people is really important. I'm not going to pass judgment on you, but I have to be a judge of character because I can't have just in everything up in the place because it don't belong there. So we have to be very mindful that some people belong in the parking lot and there's no shade. It's just that's where they belong because they're not VIP status. And it's not about passing judgment. They're just maybe not in that consciousness. Birds of a feather flock together, but that lets you know that everyone's not going to be together because we're not all the same. So we can't flock together in that sense. And if we're not equally yoked, then it's going to be hell when we come together. So just want to throw that out there. And so that's still part of the friendship stuff, right? Does anybody else want to talk about that? I see. Is that you, Robin, or Al? The hands back.
Yes, me, it's Al. I want to say to you, Rob, and everybody else, I am very friendly. Somebody sent a letter to my mother's house telling my wife that I was in a relationship. And I'm very friendly with all types of people, women, men, it doesn't matter. I sponsored women in a 12-step program. So I gave my wife the letter. They said, why you gave your wife the letter? I said, because I ain't have nothing to hide. Somebody asked me a few years back, maybe about 10 years, they said, have you ever cheated on your wife? I said, not yet. Now I've been with 48 years. If I ain't doing all that time, what in the hell make you think I'm gonna do it now? She got my bank account numbers. We got property in our name. I ain't stupid.
You funny.
No, I ain't trying to be funny. I'm being realistic, brother. I love my queen. Thank you.
You got it.
Amen.
All right. I'm gonna throw the ball at Dawn just because.
A quick, no, baby, no.
No, we're gonna let Dawn. We're gonna come back to you, Janet. Come on, Dawn. I got you in just a second, Janet.
What do you want to hear?
I just want to hear your voice say that. That's all. We want to just hear you say hello.
Hello. Talking about friendship?
Whatever. If that's what you want to talk about. If not, you can talk about something else. You know, we don't trip at the table here. It's all good.
I got a lot on my mind. I think I have more women friends than men. I have maybe 2 or 3. But I at this age, I don't think I need a whole lot. I know a lot of people, associates. But as I'm getting older, I'm learning who are really my friends, even though they've been in my life for a long period of time. And I'm finding out that I have to let some of them go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this last couple of years, I'm learning about people that's in my life that so-called friends. And what I used to put up with years ago, I'm kind of over it and I'm kind of tired. So I have to like not kick them to the curb, but I back off a lot from them. Some of them are a lot. I love them, but I can love them from afar. Exactly.
Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, there's a time for weeding the garden. You have to weed the garden. And you know what? It's all love, because if you let the weeds grow wild, it will destroy all the good stuff. And so I don't have any problem with it's chopping time. Well, I didn't chop so much. I'm like, I gotta stop chopping. I need it because there's nothing around. And when I say nothing, let me clarify that for anyone in the universe. I don't have that drama anymore. And I love it. It is beautiful. Then you think like, dang, well, who can I hang out with? Who can I call? Because you chopped all the ones that just come and take. But it's real simple. Either they're given or they're taken. That's just it's just that simple. Either given or taken. And there should be a give and take in a relationship, but if it's always one-sided, that's something for one to look at. Anybody else on friendship?
Yeah, Rob. I noticed that I had to learn how to figure out the expiration dates on my friendships, because some of them have expired long time ago.
Okay.
And I had to look at my codependency about that. You know, I have to learn my triggers. And Dawn, I better be one of your brothers, else I'm gonna hang you.
Oh my God.
The
old gangsters when they come out. Okay. Come
on. Of course you are, Albert.
Janet wanted to say something real quick. Okay. If not, let's move.
Yeah, real quick. Just kind of on the friendship thing. I think that I would love to have more balance in terms of male and female. But I realize, and I think I'm not sure what the mindset is. You know, maybe it's insecurity, or maybe it's just naturally or rightfully so. I'm not sure. I haven't really delved into it enough, but I know that when it comes to friendships with males, if they have a wife or a significant other in their life, there's a level of threat that is felt that you have to kind of keep it it's almost like zilch. You can't really have it because of the insecurity that is felt sometimes by, if they have a wife or a female, and if you're particularly if you're single, but even married couples, when it comes to being friends with the opposite sex or the other, I don't know, it becomes sort of problematic. Uh, Not that it is, anything there, but the thought of it being something there somehow is, I think, pervasive, can be pervasive in terms of relationship. I don't know really what the root of that is or how to kind of thread that out or resolve it. I haven't thought about it long enough. But I did want to talk about real quick. I wanted to talk about the prior thing that was stated about us as a people and where we are, where we're going, and how I kind of see myself in that. Or my thought about that in it. I think as a people, I'm very hopeful. I feel like we're coming to a place of awakening. I think it is a massive awakening going on, particularly among the young people, that they're coming to realize who they really are. And I think that is huge because I think it's also prophetically in line with what's happening right now. The Bible does talk about, I'm of the disposition, just let me say this, I'm of the disposition that we are part of, the Judah in America. I do think that, and I do think that the physical bloodline and seed is important and significant, particularly because there is prophetically written that there will be a calling back to the place from whence we came in the end time, and I think that's going to happen. And I think in order for it to happen, first there has to be an awareness of who we are. And I think that's what's happening in America. I think a lot of young people are waking up to, what? It's not white Jesus and it's not white Bible. This is our history. This is us. And they're talking, everything is kind of coming out. It's particularly the geographical locations and all of that. And they're finding out the Jews are not really Jews. And especially with what's going on, people are digging and people are trying to find out the truth. I was watching last night. It spelled it out clearly. I watched a documentary on, the one who founded Israel. So it talked about how actually the original place he wanted to be, they were going to put it was in Uganda. It was going to be Uganda. And they were like, no, it won't work because we're white. We can't be in Uganda saying we're Jew. So, but they finally decided on Palestine. But, people are digging into the truth to find out what's really going on and who we really are and why they try to keep us oppressed for so long. But it's happening. And I think that, to me, this is hopeful because I think it's going to cause us to come together in unity. And I personally think there might be at some point a mass exodus out of here because I think America will be judged because there's too many atrocities that have happened. And I think that's going to cause a unity and a love among our people that, hasn't happened yet, but I believe it's going to happen. So that's my hope, that we will recognize the truth of who we are, come together, and do whatever God said to do.
And it will work.
Yeah.
Thank you again for sharing on that topic. So I just want to let everyone know that we're coming close to 8 o'clock. It's 7:49. I need to know right now if anyone actually has what we call a burning desire, something that is pressing, that they may hurt themselves when they leave here or hurt someone or thinking about doing that. We want to allow you to talk or ask a question or whatever you need to at this time. Is there anyone that feels like they need to take the mic for now to release that burden or pressure? Okay, so that means everyone's in a good place for now. As I would say, we are complete for now, but we're forever incomplete because we're always expanding. And so we can take about 2 more minutes, and I'm going to throw something light since we have quite a few different topics, and we'll end with this one. We'll bring the little lightness to the table. What is one of your favorite meals? Okay, we'll say 2 because I know they're not going to listen to 1. What are 2 of your favorite meals that you enjoy? Let's start with whoever's ready. let's tell us your favorite food or your meal. Come on, James.
I just discovered this. Cucumbers, but Asian style. So it's Thai peppers with some soy sauce and sesame seed oil, and then also chop up some green onions, some scallions. You just drizzle it over, and it's so good. It's very refreshing. So
for the vegan life, I like that. Sounds good.
So yeah.
Thank you. Come on, who else? Give us one of your favorite meals. Who's ready?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I'm a foodie, big foodie. So I guess it depends on the day of the week. But I'll always go crazy for a nice steak. A steak and some potatoes. That's it, really. Oh, actually, you know what? Anything curry. Correct myself. Curry. Anything curry. Curry goat, curry chicken, curry beef. Anything
Look at it.
curry. That's it. Oh my gosh. You got me.
All right.
I have to think about that.
He wants a full meal. I like that. Come on. Thank you, Garcia. Who else? Give us one of your favorite meals, Cornell.
Yes, I'm a country boy. I ain't gonna even bite my tongue. Fried chicken, collards, or cabbage, sweet potato or white potato.
All right.
That's me. All right. Not just part of the chicken. I like the whole chicken, except his feet and beak. But the rest of his body, all mine.
All yours. All right. Love it. Enrique, you gonna give us your favorite meal? Were you gonna say something? You want to tell us what? Here you go. What's your favorite meal?
You said my favorite what?
Meal, meal. What you like to eat?
I'm gonna be honest. I think my go-to would just be a really good tasting steak. I'm gonna be honest. I always go to Carrabba's because I love the spicy Sicilian butter that they put. I take it with some garlic mash, a salad, and I have myself a Miami Vice, and that's my favorite meal right now.
All right, sounds good. How about you, Tony? What's your favorite meal? Or one of them?
One of them, I like well, I'm a vegetarian. So some dal soup. And I found these nice trail mix crackers from Trader Joe's that has like they taste good with a little bit of cheese on it. So that's what I've been snacking on since I've been fasting.
Awesome.
After 6.
Cool. How about you, Jovel? What you like? What's up?
Well, I've been on this Mediterranean diet kick, and right now I'm falling in love with falafels. And I've gone from the falafels to the falafel bowls. With the bowls, I can get everything: the beets, the red cabbage, the hummus, everything, and it's really, really good to be. I tried one bowl with salmon and all those dressings, and that was out of this world.
Everything. You got to check out Black Iris too. They have some great food over there. There's some of my friends over there on Lafayette. Black Iris.
Okay.
I like good food over there. Okay, who else? Let's go to who else want to give us some food idea? Let's see. Everybody. Let me ask Bernice and Star. Star is as quiet and being.
I'll give you some food.
Okay, what do you like to eat?
You already know oxtails, medium well steak with a baked potato and some broccoli and all that stuff Joe was talking about. I didn't have a clue what the hell he was talking about. I don't like eating healthy. My wife does. That's our argument. In 48 years. I like junk food. She like healthy.
All right, yin and yang together. Okay, come on, Bernice. What do you like?
Roast chicken and cabbage with potatoes. You know, they're all the whole meal of cabbage and potatoes are mixed together. They're cooked together.
Awesome.
And they're so good. Oh God, I wish I could have it right now.
Making everybody hungry. Okay, come on, Star. Give us one. What you like?
For me, it would be rice beans, right? Yes. And I would say, love me a steak, right? But I've changed. I only eat steak like every few months. Used to love pork chops, but I only have them every few months. So now I love my breaded chicken cutlet.
Okay.
Or grilled.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, me, real quick for just eating. I love seafood. I love some fish. That's always good for me. Fish. And I Cardinal, I can eat a piece of chicken too. I can have a piece of fried chicken, but that for me is what Jovel said. That could be linked or put under that category of some comfort food because some good fried chicken, woo, especially if our mother makes it down south. Oh, and some cornbread with that.
Oh yeah. Oh
Real
yeah.
hot water cornbread, not the jiffy mix in New York, the real country stuff. Oh my God. Okay, so
Yeah,
we're
that'll
done with
kill
that
you.
because I'm still fasting, and
Right.
so I'm drinking. That's enough about that food. So I'm gonna do a wonderful quick recap. It has been a beautiful evening with you all here. We started out talking about the current climate with all the drama and the wars going on east, north, west, and south, and what's happening in your town. Are you worried, or what's happening to you, or are you grounded? Overall, everyone was talking about being grounded and secure, that the creator, their most high or their higher power is, they're secure in that, so they're not walking in fear, which is a great thing. So that was the general consensus on the table. We shifted and started talking about, have you made any changes in your life, significant changes in the last year? So we heard people share some of their stories about the changes that they have made to be in a better space and place, to be a better person. So that was shared on the table tonight. And then we shifted in talking about self-care. Does anyone do any fasting? So we heard various topics on fasting, whether it was food, social media, and sometimes we have to also know how to fast people, places, and things. I'll leave it at that. So that covers everybody, and that's important. Then we shifted after that for self-love and self-care. It is okay to be selfish because you got to take care of yourself. Self-care is important, and then you can help others. And then we turned and talked about all the wonderful things that the melanated people have brought, from the light to being able to talk on here on this computer. There was one of us that has something to do with that. Let's go there. And the stories are being revealed. Someone we think was Tony talked about, she used the word, what's the word? I'm going to say revealed, but something to that effect about things being uncovered. I can't hear you. What's the word?
Exposure.
Exposure. So there's a lot of things being exposed. And so even in the exposing, we're hearing about all of these great people that were not in any school books that most of us read or heard about. So it is a wonderful thing to hear about. There were a lot of people who did not just lay down and get beat or be called Toby or Hobie, and no, they were like hell to the no, and they were Tubman and other wonderful women that had a part. And we also even learned about the woman that spoke to Martin, to inspire Martin Luther King to share his speech. And who was that woman, Professor? Just say her name for us real quick.
Mahalia Jackson. Gospel singer Mahalia Jackson.
That's right. So Mahalia told him, you should speak on this, and so it changed the world. But you don't hear all those different things, and it's important to become knowing so we have more knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge. We shifted and started talking also about friendships. There needs to be a definition upon the word friendship, so then we know where they are, because we can have all kinds of ships. I can name a few, but I'll hold back. Sex ships, all kinds of friendships, but it's always a ship, and it's taking you from one place to the next. The question is it headed for shipwreck, or is it going to sail and be a great ship, or one you need to jump off? So you need to be aware of your life preserver or your life boat. Food for thought. So be mindful about friendships. And yeah, I think I'm going to speak to Janet later about the men and women. Again, what you say out your mouth will manifest. And so there can be healthy relationships with men and women, married or single or what have you, but that takes another level of consciousness. So like attracts like. I'll leave it at that. So we'll shift now to the lightness. All these steak eaters up here, they already eat some potatoes and collard greens and everything. And so we had a wonderful meal right there. So now I will come to everyone. I'm going to just call names with no hesitation, and we're going to do our closing statement. And then we're done. And I'm going to go straight to Robin and Al. Give us a closing statement, and we're going to make it quick and not 12 minutes each.
Just grateful to be here this evening. Grateful to hear from everyone. You know, it's always a great time on the King's Table. So thank you.
Thank you for being you. Come on, a professor. He gave us a thumbs up. We're going to go with him because he was saluting.
Oh, sorry. I was going to wait for my my younger elder because I'm his elder. I'm going to wait for.
I think he stepped away, but we're going to go right to James. Come on, James.
Okay.
Situationships.
Yeah, thank you everyone for sharing, and have a good weekend.
Awesome. And Tony sent a message, situationships when it comes to friendship. Come on, Tony, give us a closing statement.
Well, it's always a pleasure to be here. I don't get to get on that often, but when I do, I enjoy. I'm just thinking about when you talk about being grounded, and just being intentional. So it's always good to be on here, and thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And come on, Mo, give us a statement if you choose. And we will go right over to Cornell. Come on.
Okay. Well, when you talk to friendships, I grew up in a small town that I'm in now. And when we started school in the first grade, we didn't break up until the 12th. Most cities you go to, they went to the school over there, that one over there, that one. But where I came up with, we got to learn each other like brothers and sisters. Now, friendships, a lot of those that I had are gone. And I have friends, men and women, and I love them and they love me.
And thank you for sharing. Come on, Enrique, give us a closing statement, and then we're going to go to.
I would like to just share a quote by one of my favorite poets, Robert Frost. He says, "The best way out is always through."
All right, let's go through. Come on, Bernice, give us your closing statement.
Thank you so much, all of you. I got a great deal out of everybody's talk tonight. And I recognize that I am not alone, and that I have an awful lot of living to do. And I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Thank you. Come on, Star. And I think I got to get Jovel. I missed him. Let's go, Star.
Okay, I just want to say it was a beautiful evening with you guys all. And I would say let's continue to trust and know that Source has our back, not to be afraid with what's going on around the world. And another thing is that when it comes to friendships, I believe that that's what we're here for, right? To love. We created from love, and we should be giving love, receiving love. But yeah, there's a lot of ships, different ships. So you gotta just be careful when it comes which ship you getting on, and have discernment when it comes to that. But we should be loving people, right? And family, everyone. It's something that's what we're here for, to love. And the same way we're here to heal and to express ourselves, whatever it may be. But I think the main reason we are all here for is to love, just to experience that. So we shouldn't be afraid of that either, and just enjoy whatever ship you get on, but just be careful. And another thing, I think, like Janet was saying, that moving forward into the future, I could see so much unity, so much peace, so much healing, transformation. If we all come together as one. And there are a lot of people that have many beautiful gifts, and they're going to be needed moving forward, just to heal others, to help others, but just stay awoke, right? Stay awake. And it's time for the great awakening. And we need so many people to come together and make that happen. So, but I see it being beautiful if if everybody's awakened. I know there's many that are, but we need more. And that's why we need to continue to do what we do.
Come on, Joel.
I learned that there's great importance in community, and that's where we grow. We don't grow in isolation, and we got givers and we got takers. The givers have to learn how to set limits because the takers don't have any. And also, when it comes to friendship, you got to have discernment. You got to have a lot of discernment, and because not everybody is required to go where you're going to go with you. And a lot of times when I learn is that the solution is never on the outside. You got to go inside to find the solution. Greater is he that lives in thee than he that's in this world.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Al, we want to hear from you, Al, before we go. I think that's everyone. And then Professor Al.
And get
That's
done.
me, bro.
If you
Forgot
want
about me,
to,
right?
I can fit it in real quick if you want to hear what the elder last.
We can't hear you, Janet.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me roll the minute. Give me a sec.
You got 1
Is
second.
that better?
Yeah, go on.
Is that better? Okay. I don't know if you want to wait for the elder for last. You know, did you say you want to hear the elder last?
No, we're waiting for you.
You want to wait for the elder? Oh, okay. So let me fit it in before the elder. I'm going to try to be quick. But I like what the last brother just said about, you know, everything. I like everything everybody said, but I just wanted to segue off of what he said about inside, you know, it starts inside. And I think that's so true. I think that, you know, even according to the scripture, to seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these other things will be added unto you. The kingdom of God is within you. So, you know, like we are always looking outside for the kingdom of God. When over and over Jesus pointed to the inside, it's in us. And it's like, you know, neglect not the gift that is within you, but it's, you know, him, you know, to a great degree, and it grows, and it's a seed, but it grows, and we're responsible to grow it and go from faith to faith, you know, heavenly places in him. But I like that, you know, as it relates to everything else, even the feeling of alone, because I think, you know, and I've experienced it myself. Sometimes I feel alone. I live alone as well. I'm alone. Sometimes I feel alone, but then I realize
I thought it was just
when
one can.
I'm further away from. I feel further away from.
We're gonna have to cut because you're going in and out, and someone else is speaking, so we're gonna have to cut you.
Okay. Yeah. So just kind of not being away from yourself, because the further away from yourself you are, the more alone you feel, and the closer you are to your inward self, you feel complete. You know, there's a feeling of peace, and not alone, and you know that you're with God. The last thing I want to say real quick, I'm going to say this quickly in terms of what the girl said. She said something about embracing our gifts. I think that's extremely important. I think even, you know, it might be something that is intentional, but maybe, you know, God is helping us to look inside of for our gifts and what we can do outside of, you know, dependence on the system that we may have to become less dependent on anyway. And I think that has to do with embracing the gifts that God really put within us. Okay. Hope that was fast enough. Sorry.
All right. Thank you. And drive safe out there. Al, come on real quick, please. And then.
Yeah, I'll come real quick. What I want to say is that God has been so good to me. And I can see the light in people that I know that got some sort of spirituality, you know, and I stay away from the rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor, and then Dawn. Dawn wants to be last.
Forget about me, though.
Oh, God. Gracias.
This proves once again that Master Rob, you've been masterfully in putting these sessions together. Number two, this also proves that even though we were talking about our favorite meal, I think really our favorite spiritual need and meal is the fact that we love to interact with one another. And by the way, good people, lest we forget, even though friend is spelled Friend, but when you take out that aura, what do you got?
And they'll figure that out later. Who is it? Okay, Gracia and then Dawn.
No, 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 no,
No what?
no. I'm just practicing saying no. That's all. No. No, that's it. Just no.
I like that. Thank you. Come on, Dawn. He said no. It's your turn now.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, and it's always a pleasure, and I'm always learning something from these meetings. Have a great night.
Awesome. So I'll give a quick closing statement. Tomorrow we have a session at 11 o'clock. Anyone interested, I'll be sending out links later, hopefully before tomorrow morning. If not, you'll get it in the AM. As we bring this gathering to a close, it has been a wonderful evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone. And take a moment and sit with what was shared tonight. Something was said directly or indirectly that was meant for you. Carry it with you, reflect on it, and most importantly, apply it. We're not here just to talk. We are here to grow, to refine, and become. Remember, the world may be shifting, but you must remain grounded. Stay aligned, stay aware, stay intentional, and above all, move in love, move in wisdom, and move with purpose. Until we meet again, kings and queens, peace, power, and blessings to you. Ashe, peace.
Good night, everyone.
Good
day. Peace.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Have
Stay
a
blessed.
good weekend.